what do you have to tell these professionals who have stuck their vacation and they don't know what to do with them?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. One, you were given a good vacation for a reason. Use it.
Yeah.
And it's so easy because I was in that routine, and we probably all felt that way, especially during COVID. Where like, oh, we had all these vacation banked up, nowhere to use it. Everyone said we're just kind of like locked down, whatever the case. And so when you're giving that vacation time, like that's the perfect time to really plan something for yourself. It doesn't have to be exuberant. It doesn't have to be some of the crazy wild adventures that I mentioned, but you can literally even just go like north, go out to a new environment, preferably a little bit further away from home would be better because it is the duality of things that's truly beautiful. When you work for so long, you forgot what's like to be outside of your routine. Now, conversely, when you've been spontaneous for so long, sometimes in my case is when you go on venture for sometime a month in at a time, is you forget the beauty of having a routine. And boy, was I glad I came back to the US after this big Asia adventure. So one, take that vacation, bet on yourself, do something that will really light you up and actually do it. Don't just like put it on your calendar, put a down payment down. What usually find with people is they don't put the money down to something or buy the tickets, they're not going to make it happen. So you got to get financially invested to make that into reality, one. And then two, if you're somebody who's already kind of doing that, kind of like going on trips or vacation already, I'm going to challenge you to go to another level. And that's what Felix mentioned earlier. Well, what is the difference between what I do at a venture and a vacation? Really, the primary difference is adventure embrace the discomfort and the struggle, where
Yeah.
vacation doesn't. And
Yeah.
that's really the only difference. You go back to what I said earlier. It's like I didn't care. People laughed at me when I was hauling that rickshaw for that guy. I didn't care that it was heavy, and I'm like, oh man, like I was sweating. I didn't care. A lot of people go on vacation. I don't want to sweat. I don't want to work. I don't want. You realize the greatest moments you'll ever have in your life were all because you fought for something. You fought for a relationship. You fought for a friend. You fought for a cause. But the catalyst fighting is you have to sacrifice something, whether it's your energy, whether it's your financial resource, whether it's your time, whatever it is, you have to sacrifice. And that in itself is discomfort and struggle. And when you embrace that, when you do that over and over again, not only you grow as a person, that's
Yeah.
true growth right there. Taking selfies by the beach is not growth. Unfortunately, that it looks good on Instagram, but again, 10, 20 years from now, you're going to look back and those are not the stories that's going to light up your soul.
There's professionals who are in a corporate setting. They they're working, but they're working in one state or one region, but some of them want to move to a different state, to a different country, to a different region, different escape, but still have the profession that they love. What do you have to tell them in terms of adventure for them to just take that action and go and still live the life that that is fulfilling to them?
Yeah, I want to be careful with that question because sometimes what you're, especially if you work for a place that requires you go to the office, you might not find that career in another state. And you kind of have to be okay with that because now there is a big move to go back to the office. So all my corporate friends are saying they're all being, relocate back to office. So
Mm.
nowadays, I feel like that's harder to do. Back then, a few years ago, that remote working culture was a pretty big thing. Maybe who knows? Maybe you can find it, but I think to kind of answer the question, right? How are you able to go to another state, go on that adventure, and then still kind of retain your professional? I think having an idea, you have to be the master of your own time. And what I mean by that is I like to wake up early. I like to give the first few hours myself to me, whether that's I do a cold plunge sometime, whether I go out and walk in the sun for a bit. That sets up my day for success. And then I give my most productivity time. Right now, it's about like 9:30 here in the morning. I'm recording a podcast with Felix. I give my most productive time to my working hours, whatever that looks
Mm.
like. And then when this is done, usually by like 3 or 4, and then it starts going out, okay, what are the things I want to do to add some spontaneity in the life, whether it's this weekend, plan something, or I will say it's a little hard in terms of, because I also don't want to confuse the word adventure, because when you move into like a location, you got to get used to like the routine. But what I would just say, even like on a weekend, just go out there, try something new that you haven't done before after you dedicate your out working hours, finding something that it fits. And I almost feel like that should probably be like two separate questions. But I would say maybe to wrap this up, when you're able to do something new every weekend, if you never play pickleball, go play pickleball this weekend. If you never took like a painting class, go take a paint class this weekend. And for guys, you'll have a lot of fun. Some of my fun is like spontaneity, the adventures. I learned how to salsa dance. I learned just at these crafts that typical guys don't go to. I learned about once in Korea. I learned a lot about skincare, and that has really helped out with my skincare routine. So when you do these things that are just outside of norms in a new environment, especially that's a little unique to that cultural environment,
Yeah.
embrace it, give it a full chance, don't write it off, and then see if you like it. If not, try something else.
I like that advice. Most people don't want to
Mm.
take vacation to do that. They don't want to adventure into those things because they look like a big transition.